Hi, I'm George, and this is for the Sexual Fluidity Project. I'm going to be answering two questions, and they are, what is normal, and can sexuality be fluid? The first question of what is normal, I'm just going to give my basic definition answer of what is normal. In my opinion, normal is the majority. If you behave normally, you are behaving like the majority. If you think normal thoughts, you're thinking the thoughts of the majority. In my experience, this is how I use the word normal, and this is what I take it to mean. So I'm just going to set that definition up for the rest of the video, because the question of normal also runs into the second question about can sexuality be fluid? In my opinion, yes, of course. Now, I had to look this up to get a definition of what is meant by sexually fluid. I've heard the term thrown around a couple of times, but I never really conceptualized it. I never really thought about what it meant. And after researching and thinking about it, I'm taking sexual fluidity to mean that your sexuality doesn't fit into any of the labels that people use today, such as straight, gay, bisexual. Your sexuality can't be entirely summed up in one of those labels. And I think that's the case for everyone. I personally identify as a gay trans man, and I only use those labels because they're the answers that people are looking for. For example, when someone asks, "How was your day?" the correct answer to that is good. One word, one concise answer, good. If you give them a paragraph, that's not what people are looking for. It seems to me that it's the same way with sexuality. When someone asks, "What do you identify as?" they're most likely not looking for a paragraph-long answer. Well, sometimes I fantasize about this, but in actuality I do this, and no, that's not what people want. They want straight, gay, bisexual, pansexual, something like that. So yeah, I think it's very dependent on labels, and the labels that we use today are kind of prohibiting people from identifying as sexually fluid or viewing sexuality as something that is fluid. However, I think that when you're asked the question of who are you attracted to or something like that, giving the answer that you believe sexuality is fluid is kind of a non-answer when you're asked that question, because it's not really getting at what people mean when they ask those sorts of things. I use labels for myself like gay because I want other men to know that I'm attracted to them. It's just for the sake of simplicity. I mean, there could be a couple of women out there that I might be attracted to, but I'm not going to, launch into a paragraph about that when someone asks me those sorts of things. I think when people decide to label themselves, most people choose to label themselves as straight. And I think that's kind of a factor of the times, like the day and age of now. Most people do identify as straight, whether because it's easiest. People who identify as things other than straight or cisgender are usually not accepted in society, so it makes it easier to identify as those things. But it could also be because of ignorance. I myself didn't know that transgender people existed until I was 18. So, it could be where you're living, who you talk to, who you associate with, what kind of school you go to, that you just don't learn about these things. So yes, most people identify as straight and cisgender, and it is the normal. But, projects like this sort of give me faith that when people do ask the question, who are you attracted to, what do you identify as, maybe they are looking for a paragraph, maybe they are looking for a discussion. So, anyway, great project. I think it's a really good idea, and keep up the good work.